Hi, my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and welcome to a special subset of SkipperWing Draws a Thing, process videos for the Crimson Fly animated comic strip.
Today's strip, issue 4, strip number 49. Way! Almost 50. Yay! Mostly because I think this is the longest I've ever stuck with a project that wasn't either school mandated or wasn't a sort of self-contained project. So yay for consistency and I guess turning into an actual functioning habit. First and foremost, though, I kind of want to apologize. There's going to be some sort of start and stop gaps in the workflow, and part of that's because I finally got my hands on a second screen and promptly used that to chat while I was working on a comic. Mostly because even my attention span cannot stand working for 2 or 3 hours straight on the comic. So chatting with friends alleviated that. But of course, if I'm recording and I'm pausing for 5 to 10 minutes to talk to people, then naturally you get 1 to 2 second pauses in the workflow while I'm working. So I'm going to try to be a little bit better about that going forward, especially since streaming to Picarto or Twitch, username SkipperWing on both of those. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but if I'm going to be streaming, I need to get better at that anyway, because otherwise that's going to make these videos a lot harder going forward, and I want to keep doing these videos in case somebody is actually taking something positive away from these. So yeah, back on the strip. This strip is one of those strips that should have been open and shut, but it turned out not being so, and in a good way, because there's not a lot of super heavy dynamic action going on, which would normally eat up most of my time and energy. Instead, it's a lot of just kind of incidental effects and small animations. But I decided I wasn't going to cut corners and just do the bare minimum, which is just having fire effects. I decided I would go all out. So the Crimson Fly kicks open the door. That has to be perfectly timed out because the door is on a separate layer, so there has to be a mask involved. When him and the old man come through the doorway, it has to be a full-on animation. The fire actually has to work. I mean, they can cheat a little bit by doing my rough fire animation and having cleanup on top of it, but it still has to work. Same thing, but I mean, that's not to say I didn't cheat in places. Like, the second panel could have had a plume effect and been a full explosion, but I didn't feel like it. So I decided to just kind of have the sound effects and the flash do the work for me. Another subtle cheat that I invoked was having the corners of the panels start to quote-unquote burn along with the characters. Well, not the characters, but the world. One, to sort of put a little bit of tension in the scene, in that if the world is burning, well, oh crap, our hero's got to find a solution somehow. And also to sort of be a little bit more immersive and be more meta in that, hey, the page that you're reading is currently burning too. Sorry for spelling that out, but you know how we do. So yeah, it's probably going to remain in effect for the rest of the strip, or not the strip, but the rest of this story. And I may or may not do it again in later stories, depending on what I think I can get away with and what I think will work, and whether I can be consistent with that. But it's my comic, so I get to experiment how I want. If this doesn't work, then, well, we tried and it didn't work. If it does, well, there's something else that we can do to push things forward a little bit. One of the other things that was interesting was panel 4. Panel 4 doesn't really have a lot of, again, just like the rest of the strip as a whole, it doesn't have a lot of action. However, and it would have been easier to cheat by just simply having the panel borders and the text boxes vibrate. But it didn't really read well when I was testing it, so I decided to go in and add some actual character animation to the fly. Again, like most of my experiments, not entirely sure how successful it is. That's going to be up to you guys and how you read it. Oh, and then Flash crashed in the middle of all this and decided to have these weird spasms. So that did wonders for my motivation. But the thing is, there aren't a lot of animated webcomics out in the market. Period. So when one does really bad, they all look bad. And I don't want animated comics to get a bum rap just because I felt lazy one day.
And that's it for today's video. If you want to see this strip in its true format, please click the links in the annotations and cards. If you're new, please like and subscribe for more content. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out. I'll catch you peeps later.